Market update here on the 26th. So I'm starting here on Bitcoin this time. Not really that much action in the overall market, and it's pretty dull, low volume. So the technical analysis is kind of, it's just kind of not really worth even going over that much. I'll go over it here in a second though. But Bitcoin and crypto is starting to heat up pretty big time right now. And disclaimer too, if you hear some chairs squeaking, people on top of me in this apartment complex are, I think they got a bunch of little kids, so there's probably going to be some noise in the background. Anyway, so January 15th to December 2017, consider that the W wave. You can see here that if we take this to the bottom right here, this takes us all the way up here to $545,000. I think that Bitcoin could go all the way up there to 500K over the next 3 to 4 years. Here's the main question though. This right here is a 5-wave move. You can see pretty clearly. We hit right here, pull back, 5 waves. So the question is the B wave finish here? Because I consider this a whole ABC structure. You can see this only pulled back to less than the 0.38 fib, so it has to be WXY. But you can go to 500,000. So then this is the A wave. We're currently in the B wave. This took about 2.5 years. So I would want the B wave to last about 2.5 years. This lasted only 1.5 years, and we're starting to move up. So what does that mean? That means that we're probably in the B wave of the overall B wave. So that's what I mean by that is this. So if you are not in Bitcoin yet, I think you're probably going to get another chance. As far as where we're at on this move, it's the same thing as the overall market. It's basically we're getting towards the top, yet they're not letting the price to fall. So basically, I think what's happening in the overall market too is they're just sucking as much money as possible into the market before they rug pull it. And they're probably not going to rug pull until they have a certain amount of people in the market. And people are going to get impatient and eventually get in the market, when the right thing to do probably, in my opinion, would be take a lot of your gains or take a lot of your cash and put it in somewhere where you can get a guaranteed return. Because I don't know when this is going to rug pull, but it should be rug pulling here sometime soon. This took 14 months, and that's less than 2.5 years, obviously. So we'd be looking at a B wave ending 2.5 years. This did not end in 2.5 years, so it has to be an A wave. And I think it ended right here. So I think we're looking at a whole move as A or WXY, one of the two. So basically A, B, C, W, X, Y. If this is the case, then that means this cannot go higher than, let's see, I would say it can't go higher than where it's at, or 48,000 basically. It'd be my target. So if that's the case, let's say we go to 48,000, I'd be looking for a pullback to I pretty much already have it down here, but I'd be looking for a pullback to you can see here somewhere down here around $13,000, $14,000, $15,000. I think there's a gap down here maybe. There's no gap on Bitcoin. I mean, there's a demand zone. Go back to this. Might be on the weekly. Let's see. The daily doesn't really matter that much on Bitcoin. So it might even be the monthly. Yeah, It's kind of iffy though. You can see here this came back into it, but I was considering this area as a good demand zone. And if that's the case, we'd be looking for one more pullback, and then that would be where you go long on Bitcoin for the big move, where we get A, B, C up here, potentially all the way up here to 420,000 minimum. So that's my thoughts on it right now. If it does just blow past this and go higher, then I guess we already started. I'm wrong, and we already started the final move up. I guess it could also do this too. 48, pull back, that, and then we come down. So that's kind of my thoughts on Bitcoin. I feel like we're in a B wave right now, and we're not there yet. So the whole thing, obviously, is, to me, WXY. So we'll see how this plays out. I would look for a pullback at some point. I don't know when it's going to be. It's probably going to be in 2024, maybe even like midway through the year. They might pull it back and take it higher first. But again, I don't think this is the real move that everyone's talking about, going to 500,000 or whatever. So that's my Bitcoin analysis. Another one that's been going crazy is Solana. I don't really have an analysis on this one because it's straight up, but I think it's probably the same thing as Bitcoin in some way, although it's kind of different because you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know that much about this coin, but I've been hearing that it's going to be bigger than Ethereum apparently. So on this one, it looks like a legit 5-wave move. So I bought a little bit of this, and I'll just hold it. It's just kind of a risk-taking, throw some money in there, and we'll see what happens. But if it does materialize and go to $1,000, that would be pretty sweet. But it looks like a 5-wave move to me. So yeah, that's Bitcoin, that's Solana. Let's go over Tesla real quick. I think Tesla has been one of the worst stocks to trade over the last month or so. This move right here, I still think it needs to come down here to 240. I don't know if it's going to tomorrow or this week. This week's very low volume, so technical analysis is kind of iffy. We need volume to really have the moves play out. But overall, I think that the most likely thing for this is an ABC move. I think this is likely A, B, C. We're probably going to 290. The reason I say that is if this was a 5-wave move, it wouldn't make that much sense because waves 1, 2, 3 took 15 days. Wave 4 took a month. So one wave took longer than the first 3 waves. Doesn't make that much sense. So if that is the case, I'm looking for this to be probably WXY again. And that would just mean that this is the A wave. So I'm looking for something like this, pretty much, at this point. It's still possible it's a 5th wave, and we're going to come down here farther. But just the way the market's moving and stuff, I would imagine that this could play out. I don't really see it as a nested move yet. We'll find out over the next couple of weeks. Once we hit January and we finally get some real volume, we'll find out exactly what's going on. This could be a WXY move. This could be WX, and we could do something like this. Back down here, and then go higher after that. So it's not the best breakout move overall, and you're sitting in weekly supply zone right here. So people that think it's going to break out that much, they might be right short term, but you have this long-term trend line. You got a lot of resistance. You got weekly supply, you got daily supply. Daily supply, you have a gap fill up here. My preferred route would be to sell off the rest of the week, because on Friday we did not get up here and complete this 5 waves. This looks to me like ABC. So I would expect this whole move to play out kind of like this, at least, and potentially come all the way down here and fill the gap at 240. After that, I would expect a higher move, most likely. So that's pretty much all I got to say on Tesla. It is overbought if you're looking at standard deviations and on the moving averages. It is pretty far extended. We are at the top of the Bollinger Band. You got the 20 down here, 50, 200. That is bullish overall. You're above all the moving averages, but it is also overbought. I want to see it at least come down here and touch the 20-day moving average here soon. It is in weekly supply, so it's a tough one right now, but this low volume is not helping. So give me your thoughts on Tesla. What do you think is going to happen? I'm open to all thoughts right now. It's not one to be extremely confident on right now where you can be like, this move is more than likely going to play out, you know. A lot of different things can happen. QQQ is in the same spot. We have a failed 5-wave move come down here and validate, and then it comes back up here. I'm expecting this to come back down, especially if this was wave A, right? This is so iffy and such a sketchy move. This can't be a third wave in my opinion. It just can't. There's no way. But it's playing out like it's going to go higher. So it's going to be interesting what happens from here. I was thinking 411 just based on the fact that we have a ABC move right here. But you know what? It could come up here all the way to 414. Again, if you go back to the video from a couple weeks ago, I said 413 to 415 made the most sense just based on the fact that the length of wave 1 down here would take us to 413 on the log chart. That's not right. Hold on for a second. So if you take this here on the log chart, so usually in Elliott wave, you know, 2 waves of the same length. This would be the 5th wave of the overall 3rd wave, 1st wave of the overall 3rd wave. Obviously the 3rd one was huge. This one would be the same length as this one. So if that's at 413.77. The dollar is oversold, and I'm looking for that retracement. Looks like it's still finishing up this 5th wave of the overall 1st wave. Retracement to at least 105.67. And, you know, the rest of the tech stocks is not really that much to show. I'll go over FedEx because I'm in this trade right now. I bought this at 246 last week, added some today. I'm looking for it at least to hit 255.59 short term. This is weekly supply. And after that, what I'm really looking at though is the daily moving averages here. Bounced off the 200 below the 50. We need to break above that, get into the supply zone, and probably hit the 20 here at 265. You have a gap fill up here at 278. Overall, if the market keeps on going higher, it's probably going to go back here to 278. They just initiated share buybacks, so that's another good news for this stock. So if you look at the fundamentals on FedEx too, I mean, if you're buying here, it's pretty safe. So I'm just doing a swing trade, but it's been a pretty easy move overall. And if it comes down here to 236 somehow and we sell off, then I'll just buy more because eventually it's going to bounce back here to the 20-day. So that's pretty much all I got to say right now. I'm not going to go over a lot of the tech stocks until we start selling off. They didn't really move today. They're all going to sell off eventually. Just a waiting game, I guess. Wait till the first of the year, and we'll see when this actually pulls back. One other thing to say about Solana, it does have a daily demand zone starting at 80 down here to 62. So if there's a pullback, that would be a good buying spot. That's pretty much it. Give me some stocks in the comments if you want me to look at them. Besides that, I'm not doing a lot of trading. I did buy like a little bit of a minor, but like a very small position. That was WULF, I think. I bought a very, very small position in this. It's up. The only reason I bought this was it's more like gambling for me, a small amount of money. If it pulls back, I might add a little bit more. But I think that this can go all the way up here to maybe potentially, it looks like a 5-wave move here. Nice pullback. I think this can go all the way up here to potentially this high. Short term, I'm looking for like 340. And there is a gap up here at 770. So that's more of a gamble for me. We'll see how it goes because Bitcoin might be topping out here soon. But I think I threw like $3,000 into it. Now I bought 1,500 shares. So it's not a huge position for me. More of a gamble. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. Like, subscribe for more updates. And more updates to come later in the week if we get some volume. But for right now, not much going on except for a melt up. All right, have a good night.